And welcome back to TVS Presents Sport Magazine on Radio. The segment is brought to you by Sellworthy. Need to tell your company's story digitally and online? Just go to sellworthy.com, and Sellworthy is spelled with only one L. Celebrity golf events have changed dramatically. Let's talk about that with Lee Moore. Lee is a legend in sports broadcasting in Eastern North Carolina. He worked at WCTI in New Bern with me many years ago. Lee went on to work on the newly formed Hooters Tour and then the Celebrity Players Tour. He helps the Ken Singleton Celebrity Classic as well, that will be held this September, and he has a wealth of stories and jokes you won't hear anywhere else. Lee, welcome to the show.
Thanks, John. It's great to be joining you after a while.
Well, yes, absolutely. So give me your best celebrity sports story.
Well, it would involve me and Dan Quayle, the former vice president. Long story short, we were playing in Sacramento, California, and they brought out black shirts for his team to wear. He had blue slacks on. Didn't want those. Alex Hyde White, the actor, said to him, "Lee, what size are you?" We were both the same size, 34-30s. We went into the bathroom, and a fellow walked in just as we both had our pants on the floor and looked and saw the former vice president with his trousers in hand and me. And he told the guy from the Sacramento Bee, so they had that in the paper, and Dan Quayle thought I set it up, called me a big mouth. And anyway, that's one of the funniest things that ever happened. So I was in the vice president, you would say. I kept him for a couple of weeks. He kept mine. That happened.
Okay, now give me your corniest new joke.
All right, the corniest joke that I've heard probably the other day, a guy was talking about how bad his mother-in-law's cooking was, and he said it was so bad that the flies took up a collection and got the screen door fixed.
This is TVS Presents Sport Magazine on Radio. I'm John Daly. We're talking to Lee Moore, a sports broadcast legend in Eastern North Carolina. He's also helped get the Hooters Tour off the ground, Celebrity Players Tour off the ground as well. Lee, talk about the Hooters Tour and the fun you had, and how come why that didn't last?
Well, the reason that that tour didn't last was because the PGA Tour changed qualifying. Now they have what was a Nike Tour, the Web.com Tour. But before that, they had 50-spot qualifying once a year. So all these young fellows needed a place to go play, and our tour was operated just like the PGA Hooters, 2 holes, 36-hole cut. So therefore, there were 2,000 or 3,000 kids for a place to play to get ready to go to tour school, which was every to try for those. Now, since the Nike Tour and those tours, the tour now gets the players from the top 25 that come out of the after the yearly ratings on the web.com, buy.com, whatever the name of the tour is. So it changed the qualifying to get on the PGA Tour, and that's why we were so prominent back in the 2000s and in the 90s.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, you also helped start the Celebrity Players Tour. That was a great idea for its time, especially, in the 90s and the early 2000s. Talk about that.
About the Celebrity Players Tour? Well, it really was going good from 1999 to 2000, long and up to about 2007 or 8. I'll tell you, John, what happened, and Mario Lemieux probably said it best. He had a turn place, one of them, and he said that things got stale. People got tired of playing with Joe Pesci and so forth. So it got a little bit of stale. Some of the guys got a little bit older. But in its heyday, the Celebrity Tour, now the best celebrity event is out at Lake Tahoe and down in Orlando with the Diamond Resorts. They're the two most prominent. There's still a few events. We have Mike Eruzione. We have his event in August that we work on. We have Dan Jansen, who is in Charlotte at Trump National. So we only have a handful of events left. But at one time, our events, we had a purse of about $250,000 and raised that much for the charities. And they were 4-day events back then, Mohegan Sun, Ahmad Rashad and some of them. And we had great fields. And we had, as I say, there was a Pro-Am the first 2 days. Then the celebrities played a competition amongst themselves the final 2 days for a purse, somewhere in the neighborhood like that. $150,000.
So in celebrity events today, they're kind of different. It's not necessarily the big names. It's not the great golfers. It's more about celebrities who can entertain the sponsors and the people who pay to be in the event. Talk about how really the celebrity golf event is different today.
Yeah, and it's always been to a large degree a corporate entertainment kind of package, because the people that played in our events, you know, they were owners and mid-level managers and all that played in the tournaments, because foursomes, for instance, in Mario Lemieux's event, foursomes sold for $40,000. And they raised a lot of money that the players did for their charities, for their foundations and all. But again, the big names, we had 19 current and past hockey players. You know, we had the Stan Mikitas and the Grant Fuhrers and the Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky's and all of those guys. But again, it was more of a corporate entertainment kind of package. We had socials during the week, you know, and our entertainers that played on our tour, like the Gatlin brothers, John Michael Montgomery, a lot of those guys, Smokey Robinson, they would get up and entertain at our social event. So it was quite a week, quite a 4 days of entertainment. And there were some good golfers. Rick Rhoden was our leading money winner. Rick, in his history, he made over $3 million playing celebrity golf. Hard to believe, but he did, because he won about every other year. At one time out at Lake Tahoe, where the winning players there got like $150,000. But Rick did win over $3 million playing celebrity golf.
All right, and what to me, what's really interesting is that when you go to a celebrity event, and if it's been on for 4 or 5 years, you know it's a good event because they've gotten rid of the celebrities who are real pains in the butt.
Yeah, you know, the guys are, I mean, one thing they would always talk about was being sure they entertained people. They would tell stories about things that happened to them, the Johnny Benches, you know, and all the guys, Jerry Lucas from basketball, and just George Gervin, the Iceman, and they made it a point to tell a lot of stories to the people that played with them in the Pro-Am. So it was a complete package, entertainment, the corporate side, and the corporations got a lot out of it too.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got the Ken Singleton event coming up in September. You all excited about that?
We are. You know, Kenny, this is the 12th year for Ken Singleton's event. We get a good mixture there of football, you know, from the Ravens and a lot of the guys that played, you know, with the Orioles and a lot of Kenny's friends over the years. You know, he's now a Yankee broadcaster, so he brings in a lot of good. Ken was a very popular player. He's a very popular broadcaster now. So yes, we look forward to that. You've played in that event. You know, we have a lot of fun, and again, we get a good mixture there. We get a lot of baseball guys too from the Orioles.
No doubt about that. Lee, I'll be looking forward to it. Thank you for being on here. We've been talking to Lee Moore, a sports broadcast legend in Eastern North Carolina. And Lee, thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, John. Have a great evening. It's a pleasure.
Thanks. Now be sure to enjoy the TVS Sports Network, a 24/7 streaming channel that features 60 years of classic and current TV sports. Now when we come back, some insight into sports, the TV biz, the pandemic, and what's happening in La La Land with Michael Horowitz.
The TVS Television Network, for decades your home for great sports TV, is back. You can watch 6 TVS sports channels now streaming on WatchYour.tv. It's free and it's on the internet as well as on Roku, Android, and iPhone and iPad apps. Watch TVS Sports Network, TVS Classic Sports Network, TVS Turbo Sports Network, TVS Women's Sports Network, TVS Tavern Sports Network, and TVS Boxing Network. That's TVS Television Network. 6 free channels at WatchYour.tv.